وطالبات الثانوية العامة القسم علمي رياضيات لغات، أهلا بيكم في حلقة جديدة من حلقات برنامجنا برنامج ديناميكس. النهاردة إن شاء الله عندنا فاينل ريفيجن، هنستعرض مع بعض مراجعة عامة على جميع أجزاء المنهج، مراجعة نهائية. عايزين نشوف إزاي نقدر نتعامل مع نوعية الأسئلة اللي هتقابلني بكرة في الامتحان. أنا عندي بكرة أسئلة هتعامل معاها على مهلي وأنا بحل، اشوف اليونتس اللي انا بستخدمها ايه، اشوف الرولز اللي هستخدمها ايه، اشوف اذا كان في عندي تحويلات احول، اذا كان عندي رسمه اعرف اقرا الكيرف كويس واحل مستخدما اي كيرف هيدهوني في السؤال. في عندي انتجريشن، في عندي فورس، اخد بالي هل يا ترى الماس فاريبل ولا كونستانت، هل الفورس فاريبل ولا كونستانت. اخد بالي من الحاجات دي كويس قبل ما ابدا احل علشان ما اغلطش وعشان اوفر وقتي واطلع ان شاء الله باعلى درجه في الامتحان، موفقين باذن الله. تعالوا نشوف مع بعض اول سؤال. Final revision. A falling raindrop of mass 0.4 gram at a certain instant if vapor accumulates on its surface during at the constant rate, then the mass of the raindrop after 2 minutes from this instant equals 0.4, 0.6, 1 or equals 2 gram. Now we know that the rate of change of the mass is constant. Then the mass equals m node plus dm dt times t. The mass m equals 0.4 plus 0.005 multiply 120. 0.4 is the initial mass, the mass of the raindrops at a certain instant. dm dt is the rate in milligram. Milligram divide 1000 equals 0.005 gram. Multiply the time t. Time 2 minutes. 2 minutes multiply 60 equals 120 seconds. Then the mass of the raindrop after 2 minutes from the instant equals 1 gram, and we can choose letter C. Another question. A person stands on a pressure balance fixed on the floor of a lift. The balance registered the reading 75 kilogram weight when the lift moves upward with acceleration equals a meter per second squared, and it registered the reading 69 kilogram weight when the lift moves downward with the same acceleration. Then the real weight of the person in kilogram equals 72, 36, 4.2, 360 over 49. When the lift moving upwards, then T1 equals M multiply G plus A. T1 equals 75 kilogram weight. 75 multiply 9.8 equals M times G plus A. In the second case, T2 equals M multiply G minus A. T equals 69 kilogram weight, then 69 times 9.8 equals M multiply G minus A. By solving the two equations, we're dividing equation number 1 by equation number 2, then 75 over 69 equals 9.8 plus A over 9.8 minus A. Cross multiplication. Then the acceleration A equals 49 over 120 meter per second squared. Now we can substitution in equation number 1. Then the mass of the person equals 72 kilogram and the real weight of the person equal 72 kilogram weight. If the mass equals 72 kilogram weight, then the weight equals 72 kilogram weight. The mass in kilogram, but the weight in kilogram weight. 72 kilogram is the mass. 72 kilogram weight is the weight of the body. If the weight in Newton, then 72 multiply 9.8 equals 72 times 9.8 in Newton unit. Then the real weight of the person equals 72 kilogram weight. Another question. A particle moves in a straight line with initial velocity 5 meters per second from a fixed point on the straight line, such that the acceleration A equals 100 e power negative x. Number 1, find v squared in terms of x. Number 2, find x at v equals 10 meters per second. A, the acceleration of the body, equals 100 e power negative x, and we know that the acceleration equals v dv dx. Then v dv dx equals 100 e power negative x. Now we can integrate left hand side and right hand side after separating the variables. Then integration v dv from 5 to v equals integration 100 e power negative x from 0 to x. Then v power 2 over 2 from 5 to v equals negative 100 e power negative x from 0 to x. We can substitution about v by 5, v and 5. Then v power 2 over 2 minus 25 over 2 equals negative 100 e power negative x plus 100 e power 0. v power 2 equals 225 minus 200 e power negative x. Now, what is the velocity? Power 2 in terms of x. v power 2 equals 225 minus 200 e power negative x. What is the x? The value of x when the velocity v equals 10 meters per second. Then, when v equals 10 meters per second, then v power 2, 10 power 2, which equals 100, equals 225 minus 200 e power negative x. Then, 200 e power negative x equals 125. Then, e power negative x equals 5 over 8. Or e power x equals 8 over 5. Now, what is the value of x? X is the power of e. Then we can use the logarithm. Ln e power x equal ln 8 over 5. Then x ln e equal ln 8 over 5. And we know that ln e equals 1. Then x equals ln 8 over 5 meter. Another question. In the opposite figure, two masses of 40 gram and 30 gram connected by two ends of a light string passing over a small pulley fixed at the top of the two smooth opposite planes. The two planes inclined at 30 degrees to the horizontal as shown in the figure. The system being kept in equilibrium when the two bodies are on one horizontal line and the two parts of the strings are tensioned. If the system is let to move from rest, find the acceleration and the vertical distance between the two bodies after 1 second from the beginning of the motion. We have two masses, the first 40 gram and the second 30 gram, connected by two ends of a light string passing over a smooth pulley. The pulley fixed at the top of two smooth opposite planes inclined at 30 degrees to the horizontal. The system is kept in equilibrium when the two masses in the same horizontal line or in one horizontal line. Then the equation of motion is 40 times 9.8 times sine 30 minus t equals 40a for the first body. And for the second body, t minus 30 times 980 sine 30 equals 30a. 40 bigger than 30, then the mass of 40 degrees moves downwards the inclined plane, and the mass of 30 gram moves upwards the inclined plane. Now we have two equations. By adding these equations, we get 490 equals 70a, then the acceleration equals 70 centimeter per second squared. What is the distance after 1 second? After 1 second, S equals V naught t plus half a t squared. We have the initial velocity equal 0 and the acceleration 70 and the time equal 1. Then S equal 0 plus half times 70 times 1 power 2, which equals 35 centimeter. Then what is the vertical distance between the two bodies? The vertical distance equals 2s sine 30, which equals 2 times 35 times sine 30, which equals half. Then the vertical distance between the two bodies equal 35 centimeter. Another question. A car of weight 6 ton weight moves on a straight road with a uniform velocity. When it reached to an inclined plane, making an angle of sine 1 over 50 to the horizontal, the driver stopped the engine of the car. Then the car, descended the inclined plane with uniform velocity also. If the resistance of the inclined plane to the car equals 3 over 4 the resistance of the horizontal plane to the car, find the force of the engine of the car on the horizontal road. Now, the car moves on a horizontal road with uniform velocity. Then the engine force F and the resistance R, the two forces act on the body or on the car. When the car reached an inclined plane, the driver stopped the engine of the car. Then F equals 0, and the car descending the inclined plane with uniform velocity under the action of its weight, W sine theta, and the resistance of the inclined plane to the car. And we know that the resistance of the inclined plane equals 3 over 4 of the resistance of the horizontal road. Now, let the resistance of the horizontal road equals R. Then the resistance of the inclined road equals 3 over 4 R. And since the motion is uniform, because the car moves in the two cases with uniform velocity, then W sine theta equals 3 over 4 R. The weight of the car equals 6 tons, 6 times 1000 times sine theta, which equals 1 over 50, equal 3 over 4 multiply R. Then R equal 160 kilogram weight. In the horizontal road, the motion is uniform. Then the engine force F equal resistance R. Then the force F equals 160 kilogram weight. Then the engine of the car equals 160 kilogram weight. Another question. A force acted on a body of mass 150 gram moving with velocity 20 centimeter per second to change its velocity to 10 centimeter per second in the opposite direction of its motion. Then the magnitude of the impulse of this force on the body equals gram second, gram centimeter second, 4.5, 45, 450, 4,500. We know that the impulse I equal the change of momentum. The change of momentum equals m v2 minus v1. Then I equals 150 times 10 minus negative 20. Then the impulse equals 4,500 gram centimeter per second. Now we can choose letter D. Another question. A particle of mass m equal 3t plus 2 moves where its velocity vector is given by the relation v vector equals t power 2 plus 2e, where e is a unit vector parallel to the straight line in which the particle moves. Find the force vector which acts on the particle. Since v vector equals t power 2 plus 2e, then dv dt equals 2te. E is the unit vector parallel to the straight line in which the particle moves. Then the acceleration equals 2te. And we know that the force F vector equals dh vector dt, the rate of change of momentum with respect to time t. Then vector F equals derivative of m v vector dt. Now we have mass in terms of t and v in terms of t. Then we use the definition of Newton's second law. F equals m dv dt plus v dm dt, because each of the mass and the velocity is variable. Then F equals the mass of the body m, which equals 3t plus 2 times 2te, plus the velocity t power 2 plus 2 multiply dm dt, which equals 3 in direction e. Then vector F equal 6t power 2 plus 4t in direction e, plus 3t power 2 plus 6 in direction e. Then the force F vector equals 9t power 2 plus 4t plus 6 in direction of e, which is a unit vector parallel to the straight line in which the particle moves. Another example. If vector v equals t power 2 minus 6t in direction e, then the motion is decelerated in the time interval open interval 0 and 3, open interval 0 and 6, open interval 3 and 6, or open interval 6 and infinity. Since v vector equals t power 2 minus 6t in direction e, then the acceleration a equals dv dt. The derivative of t power 2 equals 2t minus derivative of 6t equals 6 in direction of e. Now we have vector v and vector a, but the algebraic measure of v and the algebraic measure of a, which are v times a, equals t power 2 minus 6t between two brackets multiply 2t minus 6 between two brackets. Now VA equals 0. Then t power 2 minus 6t multiply 2t minus 6 equals 0. Then t equals 0 or t equals 3 or t equals 6. On the number line, t equals 0, then VA equals 0. When t equals 3, then VA equals 0. When t equals 6, VA equals 0. But In the open interval 0 and 3, the magnitude of VA is positive, or the algebraic measure of VA is positive. In the open interval 3 and 6, VA is negative, and in the open interval 6 and infinity, VA equals positive. Then the motion is decelerated in the time interval, in the open time interval 3 and 6. Now we can choose letter C because the motion is decelerated in the time interval, open time interval 3 and 6. A rubber ball of mass 1 kilogram fell from a height of 4.9 meter on a horizontal solid ground and rebounded to a maximum height of 2.5 meter. Calculate the magnitude of the change of its momentum due to impact. Then find the magnitude of the reaction of the ground on the ball in Newton if the contact time with the ground is 0.1 second. We have a ball fell from a height 4.9 meter from the ground. Then the velocity before the impact with the ground directly given by the relation V squared equals V naught square plus 2GS. V naught equals 0, then V power 2 equals 0 plus 2 multiply 9.8 multiply 4.9. Then the velocity before the impact with the ground directly equals 9.8 meter per second. Now the velocity after the impact with the ground directly given from the relation V squared equals V naught square minus 2GS, because the ball moving upwards, then the gravity G is negative. At maximum height, the velocity equals 0. Then 0 equals V naught power 2 minus 2 times 9.8 times maximum height, which equals 2.5. Then V naught equal 7 meter per second. Delta H equals mv dash minus v. Delta H, that's the change in momentum, equal mass multiply change in velocity. Delta H equal the mass 1 kilogram multiply 7, which is the velocity after impact directly, minus negative 9.8, which is the velocity before the impact directly. Then delta H equals 16.8 kilogram times meter per second. Note that the mass in kilogram and the velocity in meter per second. Then delta H equals 16.8 kilogram times meter per second. Kilogram times meter per second, which equals Newton second. We can write the unit in Newton second or kilogram meter per second. Now, when the ball hit the ground, then Ft equals m times v dash minus v. Then F times time of contact, which equals 0.1 second, equals the change in momentum, which equals 16.8 Newton second or kilogram meter per second. Then the force equal 168 Newton. The impulsive force equal 168 Newton. Now, when the ball reaches the ground or hits the ground, then the ball acts on the ground by two forces. Its weight, mg, vertically downward, and the impulsive force, F, which acts vertically downwards in the direction of motion of the ball. And The ground act on the ball by the reaction R. Vertically upward or in the opposite direction of motion. Then from the opposite figure, R equal F plus mg, or F equals R minus mg. Then 168 Newton equals R minus m, which equal 1 kilogram, times g, which equals 9.8 meter per second squared. Then the reaction R equal 168 plus 9.8, which equals 177.8 Newton. Then the reaction of the ground on the ball equal 177.8 Newton in the case of the ball reached the ground. But if the ball reached the ceiling of the room, in this case R plus mg equals F. But in case the ball hits the wall or vertical wall, then F equals R. بكده أعزائي نكون استعرضنا مع بعض فاينل ريفيجن على معظم أجزاء منهجنا، وشوفنا ازاي نقدر نتعامل مع نوعيات مختلفة من الأسئلة. شوفنا ازاي نتعامل مع سؤال لو في رسم، لو في جراف، شوفنا الجراف بيتقري ازاي، شوفنا مسائل الانتجريشن، عرفنا نربط ما بين البرنسبل اللي ربط ما بين الورك وربط ما بين الكينيتيك انرجي، عرفنا كمان نعمل تحويلاتنا، يجيب لي اليونت اللي هو يدهاني في السؤال ايا كانت اليونت انا بتعامل معاها واحولها لليونت اللي هو طالبها مني، اللي هو ساعات يديني يونتس ويطلب مني يونتس تانية، ما انا بستخدم الرولز المناسبة، وكمان احافظ على اليونتس اللي بستخدمها علشان ما اغلطش. كمان خدت بالي لازم اكون عندي الرولز كلها متمكن منها وانا بشتغل علشان ما اعرفش ايه اللي ممكن يجي لي في السؤال، اليونتس مستخبية ورا ايه، جايز يجي لي كلام انا اعرف منه او اقرا منه المقصود من السؤال او من الرسم، ممكن يديني الرسمه جاهزه انا اقرا الرسمه كويس واعرف من خلال الرسمه دي احدد انا هشتغل بانهي طريقه بانهي رول بانهي يونتس، وبكده اقدر احل الاسئله كلها ان شاء الله واحظى باعلى الدرجات. اخيرا لكم مني ومن اسره البرنامج اطيب الدعوات والتمنيات بالنجاح والتوفيق. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.